Have you ever reacted to something and immediately thought, why did I just do that? Like you snapped, shut down, cried, got irritated way too fast, or had a reaction that felt way bigger than the moment. And then right after, you made it mean something about you. I'm too emotional. I need to get it together. What is wrong with me? Why am I like this? But what if nothing is wrong with you? What if emotional outbursts aren't random and they're not actually the problem? What if they're the symptom of something that's been building for a long time? Emotional outbursts aren't random, they're overflow. If we haven't met yet, I'm Trenna Hiney, and I'm building the Emotional Wealth Index, a way to measure how people are actually operating under pressure before it costs them. In this video, I want to talk about what emotional outbursts are really telling you, because most of the time, they're not random. You know this feeling. Something small happens. The dishes are still there. One more text comes in. Someone says one thing. Somebody needs one more thing from you. One more decision lands in your lap. And suddenly it feels like you could cry, snap, shut down, or walk out of the room just to not lose it. And honestly, sometimes the hardest part isn't the reaction. It's the shame after. The reaction isn't always the hardest part. Sometimes it's the shame after. Because then you start doing what so many of us do. You start questioning yourself instead of questioning your state. And this is exactly why I started building the Emotional Wealth Index. Because most people are trying to fix behaviors without measuring the state those behaviors are coming from. They're trying to fix the reaction without understanding the emotional load underneath it, the depletion underneath it, the decision fatigue underneath it, the lack of recovery underneath it. And that matters. You don't make bad decisions randomly. You make them when you're overwhelmed, and no one showed you how to catch that before it happens. Most people think emotional reactions come from the moment. They don't. They come from everything that happened before that moment. It's not about the moment. It's about what the moment landed on. The easiest way to picture this is like a glass of water. Most people think they're reacting to the last drop, but they're not. They're reacting to a glass that was already almost full. Stress fills it, pressure fills it, decision fatigue fills it, emotional load fills it, resentment fills it, lack of recovery fills it. And then one small thing happens and everybody points to the last drop. But the last drop was never the whole story. People think they're reacting to the last drop. They're reacting to a glass that was already full. Because when your emotional load is high, when your decision fatigue is high, when your recovery is low, small things don't land on calm. They land on full. And this is where a lot of people get this wrong, even about themselves. What gets labeled as too emotional is often overload, backlog, accumulated stress, carrying too much for too long. A lot of emotional outbursts are actually not overreactions. They're delayed reactions. They're backlog. They're your system saying, I've been holding this together for too long and I don't have room for one more thing. You're not overreacting, you're overfilled. For me, one place this showed up really clearly was during menopause. At first I thought, this is just hormones. But the deeper truth was, it wasn't just hormones. Menopause didn't create all of it, it exposed it. It exposed stress I had normalized, pressure I had adopted to, emotional weight I had been carrying for years. Things that had always been there just got louder. What I thought was just hormones was often overload with a microphone. And honestly, that was uncomfortable. But it was also clarifying because it meant I wasn't broken. My body wasn't betraying me. It was telling me the truth. What helped me wasn't trying to become less emotional. It was learning how to create space before the emotion overflowed. And that's where the flowers framework came in for me. And I'm not talking about some 2-hour morning ritual. I'm talking about daily maintenance for a system that's been running on empty. Simple things like breathing before reacting, letting go of what wasn't mine, creating quiet, easing tension out of my body, reflecting instead of pushing through, and setting the tone before the day sets it. Those things sound small, but when you've been operating full all the time, small things become life-changing. I didn't need to become less emotional. I needed more space before overflow. The old advice was sleep on it. And honestly, that's not bad advice. But the new version is better. The new version is knowing your actual state before you decide. Because if you're overwhelmed, emotionally full, running on empty, you're not making your best decisions. You're making your fastest relief decisions. That's exactly what the Emotional Wealth Index is for. It helps you measure what state you're actually operating from before you make a decision from the wrong one. So if this hits, if you've been feeling reactive, overloaded, not like yourself, don't just judge the reaction. Measure what's underneath it. The Emotional Wealth Index is free, takes 3 minutes. Go to the taketheEWI.com. You're not broken, you're unmeasured.